Hello everyone. Today we're going to do some color scales. In front of me we have just a regular sheet of drawn paper with various bars here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 value scale bars. And with paint, we're going to do a tint scale, shade scale, grade scale, complementary scale, warm color scale, cool color scale, analogous color scale. I like showing students all the various types of scales you can get in color so that they can use it for reference when we're painting later on. So what I just want to identify a couple of things here. For my palette, it's just a piece of paper and plastic. I like using the plastic because I can wash it off when I'm done, and it saves you money in the long run, okay? So for the tint scale means that you're just grabbing a color, and in this case, I'll grab some blue, and you're gonna make a tint out of it, meaning you're gonna make it lighter by adding white. All right, so your first box, I'm gonna have the pure color, the pure hue of blue here. I'm using cerulean blue, acrylic, and then I'm gonna lighten it up as I move to my right. Okay, you can go from left to right, right to left. That's your preference. But I want to first apply my first color, which is the blue. You can use water here to thin out your color. I have a cup of water here. I'll leave it off to the side. But know that I am cleaning my brush ever so often. Now, I'm gonna bring the color and the palette into view and just kind of mix it up. This blue is not the youngest blue, meaning it has some age on it. So just filling up the first section with the color, the first box with the color will be your job. So I'll fill that up. I try not to use large brushes for small paintings, right? Because this is very small. So just make sure you have the right brush for the job. All right. Now, for assignments like this, I do like to use my older paints, things that look like they're about to go very bad. And you don't waste it on good painting. But this is a nice way to learn about how paint changes or paint moves from one state, which is this pure blue state, to a lighter state. In this case, it will be a tint. The change is called a tint. So I do have my blue there. I'm going to grab my white, and this white is a lot cleaner and newer. So I'll put my white right here. It moves a little bit better. Take my brush, I'm gonna wash that one. Let that one just sit in there for a second, and then get my brush that I cleaned previously. And now I'm gonna start creating this color change. Grab some of this blue. I don't want to mix it here, meaning in that pile there. I want to take some paint and move it away from that pile and start slowly seeing the change. Now, if you're going to use a plastic sheet like this, make sure you have a white background so you can see the color. If it's on anything else, the color is going to change slightly. So I'm going into my second box, and it's slowly starting to change. There are some methods you can use. You can try to get the medium tone here, then work going lighter and then darker. That is a method, but this works right now also. This is a way to get the color to change, going from right to left, left to right. And this helps you really understand how color moves, builds skill by helping you use the brush a little better. Okay. And it's just a nice way to do an academic art activity. So I'm going to try to run through this quickly. Okay, so that you understand where we're going. Okay, now for grading purposes, you would want the student to really concentrate on filling these in. For demonstration purposes, because you don't want to take up too much of their time, you can rush it just a bit, but also show them examples of what the quality of work you're going for. Okay, maybe show them one good box from your demonstration, and then just let them know that the cleaner the scale, the better the mix. All those criterias will go into the grading process, right? So I just continue to add white. This is just my method. I continue to add white in there, and I'm looking and I'm kind of trying to forecast what will happen. All right. And it looks like I'm treading in the right direction. Okay. I don't want to force a white at the very end. That's one thing I don't want to do. I want that pace, the student's pace, to lead them to the end. Now, if they pace it all the way to white, that's really nice, really good. That's a good job. That should be part of the criteria, that they understood how to step from one tone to the other until they got to white. So, but the goal here is to just have students really change colors in this tint scale by adding white and having them understand, it's caking up there, that there's a change, and that change is a tint change. There is a tint to this color. And then finally, I'll add this. This will be my lightest stage, my lightest color. I'm not going to force white in there. All right. All right, so that's a tint scale, okay? Now, the next scale here is called a shade scale. Now, the shade scale is when we take a color and add black to it, okay? So, for that demonstration, I'm actually going to use oil paints because I ran out of black and I don't feel like going to the store right now. But I do have black oils. That's oil paint. And I'll use red, okay? I'm gonna use a similar brush, but this time I actually had these brush cleaners for my oils so that they get cleaned as I do, okay? And I'm doing scales, I'm not doing heavy painting. Now for oils, I like to take a little bit out at a time, and I'm going to use just plain paper as my palette. It's gonna try to soak up the oil, but since I'm only doing a scale, I'm not doing a heavy painting, I can use the paper as my palette. So I'm gonna put the red here, and I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of red. Enough for you to see. I'm gonna use less than that. And also, I like to keep my oil colors away from each other. And black, okay? So the first color I'm placing is my black. Now this moves a little bit different. You're gonna feel it. So it's buttery, it's smooth, all right? It's more concentrated. The colors seem to be vibrant. I mean, acrylics can be shiny and vibrant, but oils have this creamy, smooth, really nice, strong color to it. Not that acrylics don't, but it's a preference of mine. Nice and smooth. I actually started with the black this time, so that's an error on me, but you can work this in the same way. I guess I got captivated by the nice, beautiful dark color. So I'm gonna start with the black. You can start with the red. The same idea is entrenched in here, meaning you're gonna fill up that first square with the color. Here I added black, so I'm actually gonna move away and add red to it. So I'm gonna take some of the black, I'm gonna add it here. Now I'm just gonna swipe the red here. I'm not gonna go to that pile. And actually, the real correct way should be, you know, with a palette knife, and you can mix your colors in that fashion. So I already see a nice change. I think that's gonna help me out with the steps here. And yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna continue to grab this and just fill up my square here. Again, for demonstration, you should have the students, you don't want to waste the entire time, just have them look at you paint. So let them know the criteria and let them know that your demonstration is about mixing and that the quality of their scales should be what you want it to be, what you're looking for. Me, I'm definitely focused on students' ability to mix colors, trying to get the colors that they want. So I think that's most important. Okay, this is good. All right. So it looks like I just need more color. You're gonna find that with oil, and this paper is doing its job and soaking up paint. So I'm gonna take a little bit more color. Now the grayscale, I'm actually going to do that one. No, I'm going to do that one in oil too because it's black. And I am going to do another video where I do the color scales with color pencils for those remote learners that need to see the color scales completed with the dry medium. So I'll do that video pretty soon. So you guys can have that as a way to show students the possibilities that paint is not the only way to complete this. Right? Awesome, awesome. Okay, so what I'm gonna continue to add red to this. Get some. Now I like to go back right on here because I know that the paper is doing less of a sponge effect here. It's not soaking up the paint as much. So I'll stay here. Let's see if it's not going through. Good. All right. A little bit more red. Just want to see that change. Okay. More. Try to scoop that out. Let me see if there's a change here. Add a little bit more red to that. A little bit more red. What happened here is that as you scrape, you do a little staining action, which is nice if you're going for that. effect. Yeah, I think I want more red in there. More red. So I'm going big time red in here. Now mixing is an activity of making changes, making sure that the colors you're mixing are appropriate to the steps that you want. So I moved away from there because the color was being affected too much by the black. So I needed more of a red change. Okay, that's gonna be my mid tone right there. I think I got it. That'll be my red. Yep, like that. That's a good one. And you can see this one has more color. Hopefully the camera's capturing this. There you go. Like it. So I already have a nice pile there. I'm just gonna add more red to there, to this little pile. There you go. Get back there. Oh, yep, yep. I like it. I like it like that. Here we go. And yeah, I like it like that. It's my Cardi B voice. I like it like that. All right, so just continue to fill that in. Nice red change. I'm good. I'm good. All right. Now, you want the student to really get their method in here. There's some students that you may not think or may do it a little bit like a little sloppy, but that's their mark. I like to keep the student's mark involved in anything we do and not try to force any ideals upon them. Meaning, a nice scale could, you don't need the lines. You just need colors right near each other. I've seen beautiful scales completed like that. So I like to take in account of that. Knowing the student is part of it, but I like it definitely to take an account of who my students are and what style, what's their mark. What's their hand, what's their fingerprint, what's their handwriting in terms of their mark. Okay. Me, I lean more in the expressive genre. My lines are a little fluid. There's some action involved. All right. So finally, I take my red and just add some more. I like that red. Let's liven it up. Now, I didn't go all the way to red, but you can, the idea that you can see the change is what's important. If you really want to hammer color theory and say, hey, I need you to get to from red to black or black to red, your students, if that's the right route, you decide to go in that route. I want my students to learn how to mix, and you're not going to learn it all in one scale. So it's definitely a good way to introduce mixing. Okay. I also like doing collages to teach students how to change color, because they're forced to rip up different tones of a color. So that's a way to do a scale. All right, so we're gonna do a gray scale. I'm gonna clean my brush up. I wanna make sure that there's no evidence of the last color in here. A couple of okay, so I have black here already, so I'm just gonna slide it over, and I'm gonna put my white here. And I love the smell of white. Make sure if you get oil paint, you get a zinc white. Don't get the lead white although it's great for painting, but the lead white has lead in it. And very vibrant color. And it's actually only dangerous if you like eat the paint, but you know, or if you're messing around with paint and then grab a sandwich. But anyway, just don't get the lead white. The titanium white is fine, the zinc white. All right, so I'm gonna get my black and just move it over here to the side. I'm going to get my brush that I just finished cleaning, and I'm gonna go right in the middle. Actually, I'm gonna go right to the left end here. Getting carried away here. My black goes here. Now, oil is not made to be painted on pure paper like this, because it won't become, it's not an archival process. You would have to prime this paper, create a barrier where the oil is not going to deteriorate the paper itself. But for a scale like this, we can, unless you want to keep your scales forever. All right, so my black is here. I'm going to go in here with my gray. So I have my black paint here. I'm going to take white. All right, take that away because I can be mixing there forever. So take more white. Those that have oil paints, just make sure that you use just the oil. You don't need any extra oil like linseed to make this work. Some students get excited. They want to throw in some oils because it's shiny. No, you don't need that. You just need oil, just the oil. Okay. So let's go with this gray in here. I like this gray. All right. So I'm going to fill that gray up. Da, 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 da. Now, for those that are teaching painting, color theory in painting, what's nice is that you can use recordings like this to teach multiple classes, at least show them some demonstration. That is one of the great parts about this. But there's nothing that compares to a live demo, you know, where the kids can see, smell what's going on, right? So I'm going to take some more white because I'm actually going to work this way, all right? So I'm going to add some white to it, to my mix. Now, since I work in a public school as an art teacher, I like to make sure that our paint is not wasted. So I kind of identify how much paint I want each student to receive on your palette. So I work with a dime size amount. That way there's no waste at the end. You know, sometimes you can get caught up in the whole learning and teaching process that we forget that the bell's gonna ring. So that's one of the reasons I like using a dime size amount, and it's a lot easier to clean. Okay, and then I'm gonna add more white to it. Now, if you're using oils in your school, you can, it's actually very cost effective. You just have to control the material, how much to give out, or have a plan on how much paint is necessary for a given assignment. I like to use acrylic because we can make the acrylic move, thin it out with water, and water is available. So you can see the gray is getting lighter and lighter. Okay. Add a little bit more white because I'm getting close to that last section. And I'm gonna just go ahead and just place that white in there, or the light gray. All right. I wasn't able to make it all the way to white, and that's fine. But students will get the idea. You'll be able to let them know what would be next, right? So what color do you think would be next? Right. Well, you can have them actually do this with chips. I've seen it's done with students play. You have students just paint chips, and then you organize the chips to the best range from dark to light, light to dark. Okay, now I have my gray there. Now I'm gonna work my way up. I'm gonna clean my brush a little bit. Get my wipe. All right, I got a good gray here. So I actually can just add some black here. Okay, that's gonna be my dark gray going from the middle to the left. All right. Okay, I can work with this. Also, in my demonstrations, right, what I like to have happen and talk about is that the students need to know that you yourself are not, you know, a machine. You make mistakes. So if I see that there's a step that is not correct or is a little off, I make note of that. I let them know that, you know, in this attempt, you know, this tone right here should have been lighter. And it's a good way to talk about, an honest way to talk about minor errors that happen when you do these scales. All right, I got one more to fill in. And for some students, this may be the only time they do a scale ever in their lives. Right? And it's important to painting. I'm gonna fill that in there. A little bit more black. So let's see what happens. Let's see if this is my error box. There you go. Okay. Now, for my students, I'm gonna break these videos up into maybe 3 videos. This is gonna be the end of my first video on color scales. So we completed a tint scale, a shade scale, and a gray scale. Be on the lookout for the next video where we complete complementary, warm, cool, and analogous. All right. So that being said, I'll see you guys next time. I am out.